with what?
Oh, you just froze.
I froze?
You froze for a second. You're back.
I think it's because you were hitting the live button.
Oh, it could have been. You see that video I sent you, the like memories thing?
No, I was like in a meeting with like some
dude. I was a
I
pirate.
would lie, but I was in a meeting with some people, and so I did not.
When I'm dressed like a pirate, you need to push the button. Yeah, photos. How do I get back?
Do you want me to watch it right now?
No, you don't have to watch it right now. It was like old pictures of us from like trips in the past.
But you said there was one video not to look, or you said you sent me the wrong one or something.
The second one's the one that was like pictures of us from like a bunch of old trips. The first one though, I accidentally sent, and it was me dressed up like a pirate from like 2015. I had the same costume on, like same hair. I'm just pulling up my pictures from the cruise, so I have something to talk about.
Well, this is like we look like babies.
I know. Tell me about it. Before my eyes got so bad and I had to wear glasses. I cannot see. Okay. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Getting ready to record the shows. We're going to go backwards today. We're going to record the Friday show first, Wednesday show second.
Just to keep people on their toes.
No, just so that I'll edit things wrong again. No, actually, don't we do this way? Wait.
No.
You always do listener questions first.
Yes.
But I think Pam's got somewhere she's got to be.
Yeah, but why do I edit? When I edit, listener questions on Friday.
No one knows, Mike.
When I'm editing,
we don't know this.
When I'm editing the shows, though, I think that I always edit the Friday show first. Oh, no, this will be better because actually I'll be editing Wednesday first.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you work backwards. Okay.
I'll be editing in order because we'll have Wednesday, because Wednesday will be up when I'm done finishing. So I actually edit. So I'll get to edit in order for once in my life. Yeah.
Well, I think you've done this probably before.
Probably, maybe.
I'm sure Pam's had somewhere to be, and she said deuces on the listener questions.
Yeah, probably. Happy birthday. Out in Indiana. Happy birthday. Okay, so if you have questions, I almost said, if you have questions, put them in the chat.
No.
Save them.
Hang tight.
If you have questions, you got to keep them to yourself for the next 40 minutes.
No, I mean, hang. If you have questions, we need them, but just hang for like 45 minutes, and then we'll answer all questions.
Maybe this will work out. Maybe you'll build an audience while you're like live longer.
You know what we're doing? We're building anticipation. We're sort of stretching it out.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
It's a marketing technique.
It probably helped if I tweeted that we're live. Okay. Okay.
You had some spam on Twitch yesterday too. So
I know, and I couldn't figure out how to get rid of them. Well, I mean, I didn't put it in the like bottom of the screen, but there was no way to get rid of them. I was trying to figure it out. But
the good thing is, I think only people on Twitch can see it, and I don't think anyone like ever sees it on Twitch.
I think so. Those Twitch.
I think I'm the only Twitch user.
I know there's nobody that watches on Twitch. And I think Twitch, our stream only stays there for like a week and goes away. I don't think it stays there.
Yeah, it doesn't stay very long. It just shows like a recent broadcast, and I think it's like a week or two.
It's not like YouTube or something. All right, so let's go. This is gonna be episode 23.
Oh.
Wow.
Who was the best? Who's when you think of the number?
Michael Jordan.
No, I was gonna say. I think of Tom Bernanke.
I think about no one.
I think about prime numbers when I hear 23.
23, yes.
It's 23 prime. It is, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. Okay, there's your math lesson for today, folks. All right, here we go. I got that. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode number 23 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope this week was awesome for you. And we're getting back together to talk Be Our Guest Podcast Cruise one last time. We're putting it to bed and talking about all the great memories we had on the Disney Wish just about 2 weeks ago. Man, it seems like it was a year ago now, but what I wouldn't give to be back out there with our friends sailing out on the Disney Wish, like I said, to the Bahamas and having a great time at Castaway Cay We're going to talk about all the great memories today. So let's get to it because we have lots to share. Joining me today from Up in the Mitten, your friend of mine, hashtag Scotty G. What's up, Scott?
Happy Friday, Mike. Happy to be here. I know we talked about the Wish a lot, and then we're gonna solely, focus on that today. But I just had so many great memories on that ship that I'm just ready to go back. Like I know it feels like a year, like you said, but it's only been a couple of weeks. But can't wait to talk about the Wish with you today.
That's right. And this is going to be the last we're putting it to bed today because I know that the folks didn't sail with us and we are a Walt Disney World based podcast, but man, we had a good time. So this is going to be it. We're wrapping up all the memories. We talked about it on Sunday night, which came out on the feed yesterday, but this is the three of us talking about the cruise one last time. So also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. She's out near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Pam Forrester. What's up, Pam? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm excited to get to talk about our cruise and the Wish. And it was, we'll say this probably about 100 more times throughout the episode, but it was really so great to get to spend time with so many people who listen to the podcast or have been involved in the podcast or whatnot. It was it was really a good time. I can't believe how many people we had sail with us. I can't believe. So here's the spoiler. Ready? Here's the best thing about always the BOGP cruises, watching other people connect. I so love seeing that. Kids meeting other kids from other families who listen to the podcast or, people developing friendships. You can see it, people just enjoying it. It's so awesome to find like-minded people. And it's pretty easy to do when you're on the cruise together because first, you're there because you listen to a Disney podcast, right? And second, you not only listen to that podcast, you wanted to cruise with those people. So there's a few things in common there. So.
And I will say just a couple of kind of opening remarks is that, as the podcast cruise came to an end, we'll kind of start at the end of the cruise there. I wish there was an opportunity more that we had our last meet there kind of on the last evening with the pizza get together, the farewell. And, we had some folks come out and we grabbed our last few slabs of pizza. By the way, the pizza is amazing on the Disney Wish, better than the other ships. Hot take, better pizza.
And 100% better. Yeah.
There was one lady who was awesome, who served the pizza. She gave me the pizza. Every slice of pizza I had came from one woman. She was the pizza lady extraordinaire and I loved her. So she was great feeding me my pizzas every time.
And it got to the point where we're ordering whole pies from her, especially for the pizza party, we know we're going to have a lot of people. Can we get 3 pies really quick?
They did. It was great. So shout out to her. But one thing I want to say is that I wish that there was an opportunity that we could have all gotten together before everybody went their separate ways, and not everybody could make it to the pizza get together at the end because everybody, we had families traveling together, extended families, grandparents and nuclear families and friends and family. Everybody was kind of doing their own thing, which was great because there's so much to do on a Disney cruise. But I wish we could have gotten together and hugged everybody and said our farewells, and we didn't have that opportunity at the end. So I just wanted to kind of lead off this show by thanking everybody for sailing with us and coming out. And it was such a great time getting to, even if it was just in passing, saying hello or getting to have the opportunity to play trivia with folks or going to a tasting opportunity. We had folks, come and do that. We went to sing karaoke. We saw Match Your Mate. We did all kinds of fun stuff, silent discos. It was so much fun, but I wish we had that opportunity to have that last handshake, that last hug, that last thank you for sailing with us. But this is what we have here. And I know Scott and I have had a chance to kind of talk about this on Sunday night, but Pam, I'll let you lead off. In general, we'll kind of break down what we thought of the ship kind of first. But even before we dive into that, what's your biggest memory from the podcast cruise, Pam?
Oh, gosh. I know I should have expected that this question was coming, and for some reason I'm the most ill-prepared. So
I don't know what I would answer this, but Scott and I've been talking about it a little bit on the Sunday night show. I just wondering kind of what your reflection is here a couple weeks out.
So I really enjoy having the opportunity to be able to sort of stand back and watch people get to meet each other for the first time, or not even just us, each other. They've been talking with each other or whatever on social media. I think that's just such a cool thing to get to see this. I mean, social media gets a lot of deserved knocks, right? But there's also something that it really makes possible, and that is this bringing together of people in a way that's sort of challenging. It would be challenging to do without that. We had people sailing from all over the country, and to be able to get together, and that I love being able to sit there at dinner and sort of look across the dining room, be like, that's a table from our group, and that's a table from our group, and that's a table from our group, and they all look to be having such a really good time. So that I think that is something that I take away from every podcast cruise we do.
I agree. And like you said it right off the top, it was great seeing people make connections because you already have that love of Disney. And also for me, it was really cool because, I've sailed now all of the Disney Cruise Line ships again. And obviously Platinum Castaway Club. So I love Disney Cruise Line. I've been on out there many times with Disney Cruise Line. I love the product. I love the experience you get every time when you sail with Disney Cruise Line. But we had a lot of folks who this wasn't just their first podcast cruise. This was their first cruise ever with Disney Cruise Line. And I love to get to see them experience what it's like to be introduced onto a Disney Cruise Line ship and then get to see their first show with Disney Cruise Line and to get to see what it's like to go to the spa and tour it. And some of our folks, we never saw them again once they went into the spa. They were there, the Marlessa the entire time. Just kidding. But is the whole thing, it's like when you take somebody to Walt Disney World for the first time and they walk down Main Street USA. It's very similar to that. You get to have the experience through their eyes, which is very cool because you rapidly become friends on a cruise because you have nothing else. You're disconnected from the real world even more than you are at Walt Disney World, which is exciting. But I thought we'd take some time to kind of break down the ship because the Wish is a new ship in the fleet, and a lot of folks haven't sailed it yet. Maybe curious about this because it is different than the Fantasy, the Dream, the Wish, the Magic, and the Wonder. Scott, what did you think of the Wish first time sailing on this new ship? Thoughts?
Well, I was really excited, Mike. And as you know, I tried to be as spoiler free as possible for being on this ship, because it had been the Nargo sailings were a year before I think our sailing. So there's a lot of videos, lots of blogs, lots of things to read about. And I did my best to avoid those. And I got lost on the ship, and it was kind of cool, right? Because I know the Dream and the Fantasy so well, I know how to navigate perfectly around that ship. So it was kind of cool, being lost, to some extent. Sometimes you would just run into a dead end and you'd be like, oh, I have to turn around now. It's not like that on the Dream. So if you're in a hurry, sometimes that kind of stunk. But for the most part, it was super cool. Just why is there this weird stairwell here at Marceline Market? I'd be with the blue lights, what is this? Where's this going to lead me to? And it was just fascinating to find these new areas on the ship that felt familiar, but were brand new.
I agree. Because I was with you. I was trying to stay as spoiler free as I could because I've made it pretty far. Because actually, the Wish had its inaugural is we're recording about 53 weeks out. So we're just over a year that the Wish has been sailing now. So it was kind of I'd made it almost, and I knew the basics of booking it, all the stateroom categories, all the mechanical stuff, but I tried to stay away from decorative stuff and the stuff that was just the fun stuff because I wanted to have a new experience like you. And I think I did a pretty good job of that. And Pam, you'd been on it a few times.
Yeah.
But, to me, my first impressions were, God, this ship is gorgeous. They really went in for the making this ship look different than the other ones and making it look beautiful. There was more white I noticed in this ship than the other ships. It was more ornate, and it seemed to have more smaller spaces, a lot more compact spaces, but more of them, more coffee bars, more smaller pools instead of one larger pool. There'd be 5 small pools, just smaller venues. And I mean, there's positives and negatives to those things, but that's what I noticed initially on the ship walking in my first 24 hours. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So even though it is a bigger ship, it feels more intimate in so many different ways, except for that grand hall. The atrium really feels spectacular. And I don't even know that they've hit their stride on how to best use it. They use it well, but I just think that there are other ways that we'll see them use it as it goes in the future. But I think, there are so many things I love about this ship because all these spaces are going to be easily adaptable to many different things. And I think they really did take that into consideration when designing the ship. I think that the word multifunctional space is something that you heard used often, and you can see it when it's there. It's not just used for one thing, it's used for many things. And that means that's really cool, because there's not this space that, like, during the day, there's no use for it, right? It's being used during the day for different kinds of things. There isn't a whole area of the ship that's hardly used at all. It's all used many different ways. So I love that. Like you guys, I feel like this ship is beautiful. I feel like this ship is contemporary and classic in the same breath. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful, beautiful ship. And I like the food choices in the that quick service area and Mickey's, whatever that's called. You know what I'm talking about. Where you get all the barbecue and the Mexican and the
We
pizza.
call it the food court. I mean, that's
the food court.
The food festival or
Food
flavor
festival,
of foods or
yes.
something. Yeah.
flavor. I'm real classy, right? I'm Mike in the Midwest. I did the food court, but it's on a cruise ship. But yeah, it's the flavor of foods or the festival of foods or something.
Festival flavors, all
Ooh,
the
idea.
yes.
They need to. I love that idea though. Awesome.
Agreed.
One thing I wanted to talk about though was because you have your initial reaction when you get on the ship, and then you're kind of waiting to get into your stateroom. So Mike knows this firsthand because he was with me. Like when we saw the all clear for our staterooms, my family wasn't with me, and neither was Mike. So we just stood outside the stateroom and sent them a text like, "Hey guys, you got to come here. We got to enter the stateroom," because I wanted to see like that stateroom for the first time with my family. Because it was going to be different. I knew like the decor was different, but I didn't know how different. And it was just so cool. We had a Princess and the Frog theme room, and like the room was gorgeous. It felt very similar, right, to the other ships. But one thing that stood out to me was that shower door. I loved the upgraded shower and how like it pushed and pulled out, which was really a cool feature. And just some of those small upgrades to the stateroom just like made a huge difference for us. And we just like 2 thumbs up on the staterooms. I thought those were
I agree. I think the storage in those staterooms is better. Of course, the USB and power ports are 100 times better. I felt like the functionality of this has been better. I was sort of scanning back through my pictures because I think that we have had a Cinderella room, a Frozen room, a Tiana room, looking back through. And I think that they really did that really, really well. And the other thing I think that was really pronounced and different were the kids clubs. I mean, could they have been more themed? They were incredible. Like every time I go, I take the opportunity every time we are on the ship to tour the kids club as if I've never seen them before, because I'm like, yes, I want to walk through and I want to see the Star Wars area and I want to see the Porg and I want to go to the Avengers area and I want to go to the Princess area, which is done really well too. So that's another spot that I love on these.
I don't know how you get a kid out of there to go to dinner or do any other activities.
Once you show them that, then they're like, I'm here. Yep. Goodbye.
And there's so many regrets, right? Because a 4-night cruise goes so fast that all of a sudden it's the end of the cruise. You're like, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Because I know I saw Scott comment. He never went to Nightingales. Like I only got in there because we did a martini tasting that was in there. That was, by the way, awesome. Like we were walking, getting ready to leave the ship, and leaving the ship was kind of a mess because there were only 2 TSA or whatever agents at customs.
Yeah, it wasn't a Disney issue.
No, that wasn't a Disney issue at all. But like we're in that line waiting to get off the ship, and I saw the slide to go down to the kids club, and I'm like, oh, because during open house apparently they let adults go down that thing. I was like, oh, I went on that sucker so bad, and I didn't get to go down it. It's a clear little tube, right there.
But that's a nice up. Well, how Pam was talking about the atrium, how Disney Cruise Line still is trying to maybe figure out their identity for how they want to do that grand atrium. That was pretty cool. That's a feature that you don't see on any other ship, right? Yeah. You got the slide right there. You don't really notice it when you board. When you
don't, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I noticed right away though was like that stage. That just felt so different to me. Because like there would normally be like an elevator right there, right? And like all of a sudden there's this stage, and then Belle is up on top, like greeting you. Like I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty neat.
I loved how the characters would appear in that upper balcony part throughout. I mean, Could there be more character greetings on a ship?
You like characters, you got to go on a cruise. You got to go on the Wish.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, one
I've
thing
said that for years about characters, though. With
It's
Disney.
true.
Yeah.
It's like 2-to-1 characters to get.
Yeah.
You can't. You bump into it. I gotta say though, I got tricked because one of the cool things. Sorry, there's gonna be a couple spoilers in this show, but this is how it's gonna be because we're trying to avoid them, but we're gonna throw them out here. So the one thing they do every night, they have the kiss goodnight on the Wish, and this is something I think is unique to the Wish, right, Pam? Because I don't do this on the other
It
show.
is because they of that chandelier.
Okay, yeah, okay. So if you go to the atrium at midnight, right before midnight, you gotta go like at 5 till. Because and I'm rushing out, dude. I was silent disco and like till 5 because I love silent disco, man. I'm sweating. I'm in my pirate costume. I got like
Yes, all true.
But the disco luckily is like a hop, skip, and a jump from the atrium on the Wish. So like on the other ships, it'd be a trek. I'm like, whew, Scott's already down there. All these people are laying on the floor at like 5 till midnight, and I'm like, it's Mallory done this like 2 nights before. She told me about it. So I got a picture of Scott laying on the floor. You lay there and they do this like kiss goodnight thing where there's like fireworks in the ceiling and the chandelier and all this doom dong.
And they played like So This Is Love from like Cinderella, which is like one of my favorite Disney songs too. Like, oh.
Yes.
But the thing is, I was waiting for Cinderella to pop out on that stage, man. It was like, like some pajamas or something, and it never happened. I was like, that missed opportunity, Disney. Like, she needs to pop out like in some PJs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and tell everybody to go to bed. Yeah.
I know. I got a cute picture of Ray and Mallory and Paige looking up at it too, because we were up on the floor looking down, and it really is very cute. And it's not just the light fixture; they sort of incorporate the whole atrium into that kind of kiss goodnight, and it's not unexpected because I think like the kiss goodnight in the parks, is on the castle, and this isn't unexpected like that, but it's I think it's just a nice way to end the night. So
I think what it is, it's kind of exciting because like the first night, I think there's like a smaller group of people that know about it, and then they tell people, and then the second night there's more people there. The last night, like everyone's there. Good night, and I love that because it's like, oh, I know about it now. I gotta, because I only saw it the last night. I was part of the last people to see it.
And Pam, I'm guessing you may have done this already, but Mike, if you have, because I know you're spoiler free like I was, like if you still have Disney Plus, there's the Making of the Wish documentary out there. So when we got home, I watched it a few days later. They spent a good amount of time talking like how they made that effect. Like I think you'd really like that. They talk about other cool things too. Like I know we're going to talk about the Marvel restaurant and how they recorded that video and everything. And so that's a neat documentary to watch too if you've already sailed the cruise.
Okay.
Yes, and warning, it will make you want to sail that ship.
Yeah, I was ready to call up Mike. Like, I'm ready to book another one.
Let's go again.
You don't have to tell me.
Labor Day weekend, like that works out pretty good. It's a 3-nighter.
I've already told everybody on the live show the Sunday night. I've already put my placeholder at a date, man. I'm July 6th. I'm back out there. I can't wait. So anyway, that's how like pumped I am. I can't stay away. But okay, so we only have limited time. I'll make sure we get this. Mark Avis, by the way, who sailed with us, he was our Into Shade free.
Yeah, he won the basketball contest.
By the way, he won. So shout out. He said you don't get your kids out of the kids club. He realized they were just Avery's mode of transportation to and from the ship. So
that's funny.
There you go. That's exactly right. Okay, so let's talk dining. Scott brought that up. We had the Avengers dining experience. We had Arendelle and we had 1923. We also did a really cool meal at Palo together, which was a lot of fun. So let's jump into that. So Pam, talk about some of those. Let's talk about main dining rooms, 1923, Arendelle, and Avengers. Any highlights there?
So I think since I have sailed, especially since I was lucky enough to get to sail before the inaugural sailing, and then we did again in February, the Arendelle sailing, I think they've sort of tightened up that show a little bit, the process, and it needs it. I mean, it is not, when you're having a meal in both the Arendelle and the Marvel dining room, it's not just a meal, it's not just a show, it's sort of coordination of both. And I think the timing on that is something that they've sort of worked on and improved, and I'm sure they listened to guest feedback. So I felt much better about that process when I was on there. And I was really glad to see that. And I just love 1923. I think it's, I love the look of that restaurant. I love the memorabilia that they have in that restaurant, the little nods to all the different animation. And I think it's just something that's very close to a Disney fan's heart, that it's just good. And I like the food there. Of all the three, that's my favorite. And I think that's probably going to be something consistently that you see, throughout that. But I mean, if I was someone who had little kids or Marvel fans, I love Marvel. I think that whole experience is just really cool. And I love seeing, you get to see the actual stars there. So that's really cool. I love that. But I think that those restaurants have even more importance for people who have kids who are into that too.
And I had a guest who's sailing the Wish here this fall, who's taking her younger, I think it's grandchildren, maybe children, but grandchildren. There's a text or a message on Facebook just asking about the intensity of the experience of the Avengers restaurant with explosions. And I said, no, there wasn't a lot of that. I mean, it was more of a story-based experience.
Yeah.
We saw little clips on the screens that were humorous. I've never seen an Avengers movie, but I was cracking up. And then, make sure you don't push that button until we tell you, I'm like, I'm going to push it now, no, don't push it now. Everybody at the table, don't do that. And the food was good. And special guest came around and was zip zapping people, and there was a little kid that was dressed just like that character. It was a great moment that I got to see that, it was a cool, I'm not even an Avengers fan. And I was like all in, and then Arendelle, there's a lot going on in that restaurant. I was going to say like, woohoo. And
it's true.
Olaf's there. And the band is all playing, but they're great.
Waving your napkin around and singing.
Oh my God.
Right.
Swinging the napkin. Oh,
my arm still hurts.
I'm saying, dude, we swung those napkins for a good 10 minutes. It was not like swinging for 30 seconds. It was like swing until it was a marathon.
And they do such a good job of bringing the characters to like a location where everyone sort of gets a view of them. I think that's something that you just can't like ignore. Like, I don't feel like there's a super bad spot in the location. Like, you're going to see Olaf come by and Anna and Elsa and Kristoff and
the way they designed that dining room was really good, because like that couldn't work the way the Marvel is designed or Animator's Palette on the other ships, but the way they designed that room was, well, you're right, Pam. Like, I don't think anywhere you're on in that room at a table you'll be able to see part of the show, which is really important.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be you don't have to be probably a Frozen fanatic to enjoy the show. Like, I like Frozen because just the connection I had. It came out on my birthday. I have 2 daughters, so it was like a special movie at that time. But it was just exciting because they had a violin player, fiddle player, and a guy playing a guitar, like some kind of a banjo or something. They were amazing, musicians, and they performed well, and it was just really exciting hearing the whole story and dancing. And like I said, Olaf was you don't have to be all in on that's the whole thing. Like, I wasn't even all in on Avengers, but I was all in on that restaurant and that experience that night. Like, it was just, they brought the story right there to your table, and the food was great. But 1923, I didn't want to say too much. Here's the problem I told Scott it wasn't my favorite restaurant. It was, because my boy didn't get to go to that restaurant, and I didn't want to make him feel bad because his wife was not feeling well that night, so he had to kind of skip out of that meal. Dude, filet mignon and like a twice baked potato, and for dessert we had ice cream sundaes and churros. Oh, God bless America. I was like, it was like all memorabilia from like Disneyland. I was like in heaven. Like, that was it. But I didn't want to tell Scott because it was the day.
It's all good. We did kind of have a vacation killer near the end there. Elizabeth got a bug of some sort. I don't know what, and she's still actually not feeling that well. So I got to experience something I never done on a ship before. I got to go to the medical center on a ship. So if you want a review on that, I can give
everyone's highlight. Yes.
Yeah. It wasn't the rig. That was one thing I was looking for,
But Elizabeth and Emily had lunch in 1923. So Elizabeth still got to see the restaurant. I unfortunately did not. So that's another excuse to book a cruise, right? I got to go see the restaurant. But
100%.
I wasn't too bummed about it. Like, obviously I want to hang out with the crew, have one last nice meal together, but I had to take care of Elizabeth a little bit. Obviously, that's my number one responsibility. But I already had Paulo that day, and that was a phenomenal meal that we had together for brunch. I think our server's name was Boris, if I recall.
Yes, it was Boris.
He was spectacular. I loved that guy. He was so awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
But that meal was so great. Pam, thanks for making that reservation.
I'm glad that I could. Yeah.
Well,
It was good.
So something I learned too, because I've been watching all these like Wish videos now since we've been home. Like I didn't realize that that private room like butts into the other restaurant's private room too. It's kind of like there's a wall that divides the two, which I thought was kind of interesting. But that room was gorgeous. We had the sun-dried tomato with goat cheese pizza, which is like one of my Apollo favorites. The chicken parm, which is a classic. But that whole meal, everything that was on that table was just phenomenal, and the service was
hold up.
notch.
I ate goat cheese.
Yes, you did, sir.
I thought that was just cheese. Okay, all right. Mike is eating goat cheese. All right, that's all good. That's fantastic.
And he liked
goaty.
It was goaty.
I stayed at the Grand Floridian and I ate goat cheese. I'm getting myself a ding for that. There we go.
We can trick you into doing just about anything, Mike, if we don't tell you.
I'm telling you, man, I have to move out of Missouri if I'm not careful. I have to move to like the East Coast.
But and Boris was awesome with you too, Mike, because you were like, you love your eggs Benedict, and he talked about the portion might be smaller, and you told him how much you loved it, and he gave you 2.
Boris was the boy, dude, bringing me 2 eggs Benedict, and I'll tell you what, those things melted in your mouth.
On rosemary ham?
Oh, the rosemary ham?
I don't know who Rosemary is, but I love Rosemary. She was the jam, and those eggs were the bomb. Just saying, I could have eaten a dozen of those things like Gaston and just tore them up. Oh, man, yeah, that food. There's something about Palo food, and it tasted better with friends in the private room where you're all being, fancy, and you just don't get that. That's when you're, that was my like Leonardo DiCaprio like moment, right, where you sit on the Titanic, like chewing, eating the bread, talking with your mouth full, like, what are your plans, Mr. Jack Dawson? Oh, sure, on the will of God, I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. That was me, like I'm here with my friends. I don't know, I shouldn't be here, but here I am. So I'm eating all this fancy food, just loving it, but. I mean, everything tastes so good at Palo. It all melts in your mouth. It shouldn't taste that good.
I want it to be known, too, that Mike might be the only person in the history of Palo Diners to wear a Howell football shirt. So there was a Hawaiian. Is it the Vikings? The Howell Vikings?
It's so what I wore. And I've twice now, I've worn questionable clothing to Palo. In the private room both times, because on one of the podcasts, I think it was the first podcast cruise, it was pirate night, and I was like, I am not missing pirate night. So I did wear a shirt and tie, but I wore my pirate hair and the pirate bandana and had I was pirated out in the head. So I wore pirate. Pam, I know she was nice and didn't fire me and didn't say a word mean. She probably wanted to kill me, but I'm talking Forrester, not my wife. My wife probably did too, because she was there as well. But for this one, yes, I wore it because you had to wear a collared shirt. So our football staff wears for what's called the football jamboree, which is our preseason where all these other teams come over and scrimmage against us. They always wear Hawaiian shirts, and they have flowery Hawaiian, flowers on them, but they also have the H and they have our Viking logo on them. So yes, I did wear a football coaching Hawaiian shirt to Palo.
Leave it to you, Mike. At Palo, private dining room with friends, great meal, and you come in with that weird shirt. It was fun though. It was fun.
Vikings, baby, state champs. Visa up. What's up? Just kidding. Okay, so let's talk entertainment though, because I don't want to talk about this all day. But entertainment. So what shows did we see? Scott, you see Little Mermaid?
Well, before we go there, do you mind if because I consider this entertainment. You were talking about the musicians at the Arendelle meal.
Yeah,
like how awesome that was. The live I've never seen so many live musicians on a cruise before. Like I spent a lot of time at the Bayou, which is kind of like I'd call it like the lobby bar in a way. So like you walk on the ship and then you go to the right and there's just like this open air bar called the Bayou. And every time I walked by there, I swear there was a live band performing some kind of music. It was awesome.
It's kind of like the District on like the Dream and the Fantasy. I kind of gave me those vibes a little.
For sure. Yeah. Because there's like a little stage there. So like that was awesome. When it came to the shows as you were getting, I saw Little Mermaid, fantastic show, cool effects. Pam, like I love that photo you sent me, like of the stage, like before the show, like that.
Yeah,
I just love how that treasure chest is out there, like with the cool water effects. And it's not like the story that everyone knows of the Little Mermaid, so it was kind of fresh and unique. The performers were great. Ursula, Sebastian, everyone was just magnificent on that. I did see Aladdin. I'll just say, like, I've seen Aladdin on the other ships. I was hoping for something a little more fresh, like how the Little Mermaid was, like, but it's a good show. Like Aladdin, the genie always is quite the character,
Mhm.
right? He's always got like some hot topics that are currently like in the time, so it feels fresh. Kind of reminds you of Villains Tonight a little bit, like how Hades would have like those one-liners, you know. But good show. But unfortunately, I missed the first show, which I heard was really good. Pam, maybe you could talk about that one.
It is good. And it's sort of, I think, like an introduction. I think a great way to kick off the cruise. It sort of gives you that introduction. And I think it will hopefully become like the staple show for that ship. Like, you know, how there's the Golden Mickeys on other ships and stuff like that. I think it will become that. But I think that this, the fact that they brought this ship over and we're rehearsing two new shows, that show and the Little Mermaid, I think is really a credit to that team. And the special effects in that theater, I think, are spectacular.
Yes.
Like it took what we knew from the Little Mermaid at Hollywood Studios, you know, like the scenes where you feel like you're under the water, and plus it up about 10 times. It really does feel that way. I love the modern interpretation of it. I think that that is a plus too. And it isn't it just a better, like if I were on stage, I would want to be the villain because the villains have more fun.
Yeah.
Ursula, she belted out those songs. She was spectacular. Not that everyone wasn't great, but come on, that would be the part of a lifetime for sure.
For sure. One thing I'll say about the theater though, like if the seats, maybe I've grown, like I don't know, but the seats were like really uncomfortable for me. They were kind of like narrow and like I couldn't like get situated right in those seats. I don't know what it was about that theater. Probably not a problem for everyone else, but just wanted to throw that out there. Like I found those seats extremely uncomfortable for both shows that I went to.
Interesting.
Noted. I
know you didn't go to a show, Mike, so you can't. Yeah.
I'm just not a show person. Like when I'm there, I was always out like looking at the ocean. Like I never get to see the ocean. So like I'm walking the top decks. Like that's just more my thing. Like I like to spend my time doing events like small, like trivias or stuff like that, or just sitting on a deck 4 chair. I posted videos on Instagram. There were times where I sat on the deck 4 chair and there's not a person in sight. And that's my jam. Like that's my thing. Everybody's at the Little Mermaid.
You're probably more comfortable than I was in the Little Mermaid.
I fell asleep like in a blink because I was like, this is so peaceful. Just listening to the water go by. We're out at sea at sunset because I got to see the sunset. And that's my choice, you know, like, and I know the shows are great, but I'm out there to see the ocean. And everybody's got, that's the thing about cruises. Everybody makes their own choices for what they like. And, you know, my family went to see the show and, you know, I'm like, that's totally cool. You know, go see the show. I'm going to be out on deck 4 and we'll meet up when we're done. And that's what we did. And, you know, we always had to do everything together on our first few cruises. Now we're fine with kind of each doing what we like, which I think is great on a cruise because there's so much to do. So, okay. One other thing I want to talk about. So we were there over the 4th of July. So we got 4th of July festivities, fireworks, and we also were there for a pirate night. And Scott and I have kind of talked about this, but I want to talk about it one more time. Pirate night, because I want to get your take on this, Pam. We talked about this on the Sunday night show, so we'll hit it briefly here. It's a different pirate night on the Wish. And I think it can be kind of divisive. This is my take on Sunday night, that we loved it. Like Scott and I, because it was kind of like they were playing 80s. It was like a cover band, like 80s. It was the jam. Like
it was live music performed.
Yes, by a band, like a cover band. It was like something you'd see at Epcot during like Flower and Garden. And they were good. This band rocked. But Scott pointed this out because I didn't notice this initially. So Scott, point out about the fireworks, because this is incredible that they did this. And it's such a cool touch. I mean, first of all, they're doing fireworks at sea. Okay, that don't discount that on top of this. But on top of that, what was happening?
So I just thought after the band finished and the fireworks started, I thought they would cue in a soundtrack, right? Like a pirate overlay like they do on the other ships. And so we're watching it. I hear the soundtrack. And I look behind me to maybe give a high five to someone or like a thumbs up just to see someone's reaction. And I saw the band was still performing. The live band was performing to the fireworks as they were happening. It was one of the coolest things ever because they could just do whatever. I'm sure they have a set list they kind of play to it, but they could maybe improvise a little bit, or if a firework doesn't do something as should, they can change it up what they were going to do. It was the coolest thing to hear live music to live fireworks. It was an awesome combination.
It was. I mean, we're at sea, fireworks at sea with a live band playing the soundtrack. live. It was,
Mhm.
I mean, it was just, it gave an energy.
The atmosphere and energy. Yeah, it was
Wow.
unreal. Yeah.
So Pam, I mean, that surprised us. I mean, what did you think of the 4th of July festivities and the kind of difference take on pirate? Because I can see where like Disney purists are like, oh, I don't want to hear, you know, what they play.
Jumping Jack Flash by the Rolling
Yeah.
Stones before a pirate show. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I mean, some people probably only want Disney music. I thought it was fun.
I think it is, and I think that they're sort of trying maybe to appeal to a broader audience. I mean, I think that, you know, you get a lot of Disney when you're on a Disney cruise, and chances are you're bringing someone to cruise with you who may not be as big a fan of Disney as you are. And I think this is a great way to make it something that appeals to both. I mean, you still have characters that are there. We're still seeing them there, but who cares if Goofy is dancing to the Rolling Stones instead of a Goofy movie song, right? I mean, whatever. And I think it's cool. And you know, look, none of us are getting any younger, so there's probably a whole bunch of us out there that appreciate this, like that this is happening too. So,
and Mike, this might be why we like, so we're like trivia gurus, all three of us, all three of our families love doing the trivias, and it's not always Disney trivia. There's 80s music, there's 90s music, there's general knowledge, there's whatever, there's the karaoke that's not always Disney karaoke songs, and like that just makes it fresh, kind of like what you're saying, Pam. I think that appeases to everyone in your family, not the super uber Disney fans. They could have fun going to a silent DJ and not having Disney songs playing. Like that's the beauty of a Disney cruise.
The really silent DJ that last night we went, Mike, was on fire. We stayed on one channel almost the whole night, Scott. Like it was green, right?
Nobody came out there with me. I was out there dancing.
I know. You know what? It was like
you're different than everyone else. Yes. Come on.
we were doing our own thing, but yes.
Yeah, I was out there dancing.
I think I was at family karaoke. I had to go to that because Emily really wanted to sing a killer song, Mr. Brightside or something. Or
I got Mr. Brightside got me in big trouble with my wife.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because apparently I forgot that it was silent DJ or whatever, and I did something that Mizzou fans are known for. And if you know what I'm talking, if you're a Mizzou fan, you know what we say to Mr. Brightside. And I apologize if there were any KU fans in the audience.
Oh my.
But anyway, that's the beauty of the ship, though, too, is that like you all were like doing the silent DJ. I was doing karaoke that night. I'm sure other listeners and friends of the podcast were doing a trivia or doing something else. Like there's always something entertaining happening. It seems like at all hours of the day, which is just
sometimes
so cool.
It's hard to choose.
Yeah, I know, because I want to do silent DJ with you all, but like Emily wants to sing this song. I gotta watch Emily sing. Like,
yeah,
it could create some conflict with your family sometimes too, to be honest.
I told my wife I'm going to get silent DJ equipment for the house, and I realized really just AirPods. I mean, personally, you know, like
you've got to be able to switch so everyone can see.
At home, a silent DJ is just like you and your AirPods, and if you want to change the station, you just switch your playlist. I mean, dude, it's not really as fun unless
no fun.
People. I mean, yeah,
you got to give them 3 options, Mike. Yeah, I know. They have the infinity options on their phone.
I know. It's really, you need a bunch of people to make it more fun. But God, the silent DJ, I love that idea. I don't know. I should be Japanese or something because I think it started there. Like, it's so cool. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but it's like everybody's like, and sometimes you want to be on the channel with everybody, but then sometimes you just want to be a rebel. And like everybody's green, but I'm just going to be red and just rocking out, you know, with Journey. Everybody else is like to Pitbull. Nope, I'm sticking with Journey, people. Okay, anyway, what was something you did though that was like a special event? Like I did a martini tasting, which I just randomly signed up for because like on the day where you could, you know, do your activities, I felt like everything was going like hotcakes. And I'm a Run Disney guy. So I know like you got to make your move now or never. And so I'm like, I don't really know what martinis are, but I'm signing up for this. And so I signed up for it. And everybody's like, you're going to hate martinis. You only like margaritas. We went to this and these things were all sweet martinis. They were all like colored and had sweet taste. And we loved them. We did them with Cheryl from that lives over in Europe and with some of her friends. Man, we had a blast and I loved all the drinks. It was in Nightingale's. That was one of the it's totally surprised me that I liked it. And I'm glad I did it. And it was a hit. So we did martini tasting. So Scott, something like that you enjoyed, like a thing.
I mean, I loved all the tastings. Like we had a big group for the old fashioned. I know even some of us that weren't even drinking just wanted to participate, make sure everyone was behaving properly. Is what I really think it was. But
It's true.
I know like Marlessa got in last minute, Jared and Stacy, Derek was there, and then Yumi and Steve, Mike were there. Like we had a great group. Paige, that was a lot of fun. It was like a good way to like wrap up the cruise because I was kind of worried initially, like a 10 o'clock old fashioned on the last night, but
dude, I go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but let me tell you, like they weren't like full size. They were kind of like samplers,
Yeah,
you
they
know.
were.
So that was pretty good for that.
That was.
And then I did some other tastings. We did that bourbon one, Mike, on the first night. That was a lot of fun. But I have so many memories, so many great things. But I'm gonna throw this one out there because we didn't talk about Castaway Key really.
Nope.
So the Castaway Key 5K is like a kind of a big thing with our community because we got the Be Our Guest podcast lizards, and we had quite a few of lizards on this cruise. So I thought it was kind of cool how we all met before the race. I mean, it's kind of like you run on your own. There's not an official like start anymore, which I think is much better, to be honest. You just kind of go out there and do it whenever you want. But it kind of took me back to like being in the corrals at Epcot or like in the parking lot and like taking our group photo. Like, you know, Joe Fickus out there like coordinating. Like it was kind of cool. Like we had a pretty good
2 seconds picture time.
Yeah. But it was kind of cool. We had like a pretty good size. Like sometimes you see more than what you would see like at a Princess 5K were in that photo. So I just thought that was kind of cool. Like bringing the lizards out to Castaway Key for the 5K was kind of a cool moment for me.
And it was hot.
It was hot.
It was a hot 3 miles.
And they had medals at least. I've heard sometimes where they don't even have the medals.
People have been asking me that like on social media since I've gotten back like many times. Like, did they have medals? I'm like, yeah, like you just go to the bike shack there and they give them to, like when I went, they didn't give if I would have finished that 3 miles, like and almost had heat stroke and I didn't get my little rubber medal, which I ended up giving away, it was awesome because I met this awesome couple that deserved it. But the thing was, if I didn't get one, I'd have been fired up. I'd be like, you better give me like a, I don't know, like a bike, and I wouldn't ride a bike. I don't know what I would have wanted, but I'd have wanted something for that 3 miles. Go get me an ice cream cone. Like bring it to me. Make it an ice cream sandwich. No, that'd have been bad.
Speaking of ice cream cones, though, like the guys, it was always the same 2 guys, I swear, that were doing the ice cream cones on the ship. Like, I don't know, Pam, I know you don't do ice cream very much, but Mike, I'm sure you had to have a few. Like,
I did.
It was kind of like your pizza girl. Like, it was always the same people working these stations.
Yeah,
I'm like, do they ever take a break?
I
like,
know. 24/7.
Yeah. Just to be like a side note here, and I've said this so many times, I swear, like the Disney Cruise Line cast members are some of the hardest working people I've ever met.
For sure.
And I just gotta give a shout out to them. If any of them ever listen or if they have family or friends, like I really appreciate and love all the efforts they do, especially the stateroom host. Like our guy Edwin Mike was fantastic. Like they're just magicians. Like they clean your room in a way that I never thought was possible. Like they'll like move something around. I'm like, oh my God, that's so creative. Like, how can they find all this extra space in this smaller stateroom? It's just always amazes me. But I know they're wearing many different hats, many different roles, and I just got to give a shout out to the cast members because that's what I always expect from Disney is like that level of service, like on the sea is just unbelievable.
They wrapped my girls' cords for their electronics.
They always wrap the cords.
As a dad, I've told them that for 10 years. Like, dude, wrap your cords. And they, he did it for them. I'm like, God bless you.
I always want to bring them home.
Same. Okay, so real quick on Castaway Key, though. We were sitting on the beach, and I got to see the greatest moment. Go to my Instagram. It's one of the pictures I put on there today on Monday, is that we got to see this girl dressed up like Ariel doing a photo shoot with her Instagram boyfriend. It was the most bizarre thing, and it went on for over an hour. This is nothing that was sanctioned by Disney Cruise Line, I don't think. And she was doing pictures all over the ship.
I'm sure it was not. It was so dangerous.
It was, and it was the wildest thing ever.
Yes.
All over the ship. She's obviously an influencer, and that's all I can say about it. I don't know. Like I was like locked in. Like it was like probably 20% of my Castaway Key time was like sitting on the beach watching this all go down. And she stood up once she took her fin off. She was full on in aerial gear, full fin, full costume. But then all of a sudden she transformed. She had legs. I mean, I'm not kidding. This all happened. And she was standing on the rocks. And there was one time I thought she was falling off the cliff. Like it was probably 15 feet.
Did someone kiss the girl then? Is that how she got her legs? Like I'm trying to figure it out. Like
asking to come out or flounder.
Her boyfriend did not get to kiss the girl. No. He got to photograph the girl.
She had to look at he had to bring the camera over every time. Like with the
Just
tripod,
show her.
do the pictures and proof them, and then go back and like get an umbrella over the camera. It was a whole deal.
There was some reshooting going on.
Yeah. Have you gone out to Instagram to try to find these photos? Because I'm sure they're out there.
You're right. I should have. I didn't even think how you find them, but it was a whole. It was like
I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna find them.
It was a deal. And I have look at my Instagram because there's a picture of it. I couldn't resist. I kept taking pictures of the whole shoot. But that was one thing. But you know, we're running a little long, kind of rapid. But anything else? Because obviously we can drop some things in, you know, as we go through the weeks. But Pam, kind of final thoughts on the podcast cruise. I mean, it was obviously 4 days goes so quick. We didn't get I enjoyed the Aqua Mouse. To me, the Aqua Mouse was kind of like a water-based mini Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway because it has kind of the same animations.
It does, yeah. It was just, it's great to connect with new people, reconnect with people I know. I think that's what makes it happen. I got to snorkel with your girls again.
Thank you, because I don't snorkel. And Mallory talks about that for all year. You are her snorkel buddy. You always have been, and thank God.
I love it. Yes.
The pipe. So there
I love it. Yes. My family's tired of me, so I'm glad that somebody else wants to go with me. Yes. But I mean, it's just a good time. A cruise is fantastic. Cruising with friends is even better. It's said many times on this podcast. It's 100% true. So,
yep.
So
cruising with friends, the late nights in the bayou, just because time it goes by fast, right? The cruise goes by fast, but time does slow down. You're not on your phone like reading social media or reading all the news.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually it's like my favorite thing, especially on these podcast cruises. I get to learn people's stories. I get to learn like where they're from, how they met their significant other, where they raised their family, and like I know those are like small little things, but those matter to me, and I just love learning more about people, and that's what cruising is all about. And you learn them, and then you learn about them. You get to have some drinks with them. You go to trivia. You have dinner with them. It's just meeting these people and building these relationships is what it's all about for me.
That's 100% right. I mean, like Threads launched while we were on the cruise, and who cares? Like a whole new social media platform launched. It was great being disconnected. We didn't have to worry about that. I mean, obviously now that we're back, it's trying to catch up with all that. But man, being disconnected was the greatest. Okay, a few things I want to throw in here. The fitness center was awesome on the ship. I like that. We spent some time in Hyperspace Lounge. That was fun. They did
could be bigger though. I feel like
it could be bigger. It was very much to me like Skyline, I thought, but with a Star Wars overlay. I liked how every drink had kind of a gimmick to it. So like they would, flash like a light on some things, like, oh, it says "May the Fourth be with you," or
that
like
was cool.
And they were doing like tricks with like bubbles. That was wild.
Yes.
I keep the bubble up.
Blowing the bubbles. We have some good video. That will be in the final montage.
Okay, good. Okay, that'll be it because we are going to premiere a video somewhere down the line here on our YouTube channel live, and we'll do that kind of Mystery Science Theater 2000 style or 3000, whatever that is. Something else. One thing, don't miss. You can get beignets because we talked about the what's that place called?
The Bayou.
The Bayou. So we did have beignets there. You got to buy them. I think they were like a couple bucks each or like $1.99 or something like that. But we had, because Mallory wanted to get beignets. So we got beignets there and they were hot out of the fryer. Ooh, they're good.
I never did this, but Keg and Compass, you can order food as well. And like those tater tots looked really awesome.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I wanted to get those too. So Scott mentioned this. Keg and Compass was just a cool, that place has so many little, it's decorated so cool. Like you could spend probably 2 hours in there looking at the details in the decoration of it, because it's kind of like the 687 or the O'Gills of that ship.
Out of all of those, that's my favorite one though. I think like you said, like the details in there are just, there's so many nods to like Disney and other things, and just the decor and the lighting in there is just like my style. Like it was just a cool pub that I just never wanted to leave there, to be honest. But I never got that drink either that Steve had, like with the cool like corn or whatever. Like, I got to book another cruise, Pam. I got to just get back on there and do more things.
I tried the drink because it was a Viking drink. Of course, Vikings I don't like beer. I tried it again. Still don't like beer.
I'm glad. So Mike was going to order it, but then the guy's like, we only have 2 horns. Steve's getting one, and the guy over there is getting the other one. So Mike didn't get it because you would not have.
Mike would be like, "Can you put a margarita in this horn?"
Put a margarita in that sucker, and I'd have been good to go. wouldn't have been horns up, that'd have been how it would have been, but yeah, it didn't happen. But yeah, there's so much, you just don't get to it all. But I mean, even if you do a 7-night cruise, we had, I think it was Matthew here in the live chat. He's currently on the Fantasy watching the show tonight at sea. He's on a 10-night cruise on the Fantasy. And, even on a 10-nighter, you're probably going to walk off the ship with regrets, stuff you don't get to. I mean, I hope not. You get to most of it in that amount of time. But it was just great spending time with folks and the late night pizzas. And I will say one thing the Wish needs to do, and see if you guys agree with me. The Festival of Foods needs to be open later, because only the pizza place was open late. Like,
agreed.
Man, I would have paid money for the Mexican place to be open till like midnight. I mean,
they're weird hours because they close like during dinner. So that night where Elizabeth wasn't feeling well, I went up there to go get a bite like during normal dinner hours, and my only option was getting a burger and chicken tenders. I mean, which I did, and it was good. It was fine, but like I would have liked to have a burrito or some barbecue. So you're spot on, Mike. Like they close at like 6. It's like 12 to 6 or something, and then some of those don't even reopen. The pizza at least reopens at 9, but yeah. Dude's got to get some food on the ship late at night. You get like the midnight munchies a little bit while you're on the sea. There's no calories when you're on a Disney ship, so you want some extras. And yeah, so that I agree, Mike. And like Marceline Market is the other one. Like they had weird hours too. And one thing I loved on the other cruise lines or the other ships is that you get your ice cream or whatever on deck, and then I would take it off the hot deck and go to like cabanas and like be in the air conditioning where it's like nice and quiet, but like they would close the like partition doors to Marceline Market, so you couldn't even go in there and sit, which kind of felt different. Like I felt like you lost some space with that, but I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It's not a big complaint, but I wish they would have kept that area open all the time.
Yeah, they actually used part of Marceline Market for our bourbon tasting.
For our bourbon tasting,
I mean, there was part of a multi, like Pam said.
But we got lost. We didn't know how to get there because the doors were closed. Remember?
I was arguing with you because we were trying to find the venue, and it kept saying Marceline. I'm like, dude, we're not gonna have a bourbon tasting in Marceline Market. It's like the food area because it's the first night of the cruise. I'm like, it's gonna be in a bar, man. This is a typo. Like we are going to the food place. We are not going to taste bourbon like in cabanas. Like they're not going to put us in cabanas for a bourbon tasting. And sure enough, there's a corner and it's like a little pub. It was almost like a little pub on this one corner of Marceline Market. It was again.
We had to wait for the door to open though. That's the thing. It was bizarre.
It was different. Like you just got to, you can't, your instincts will get you in trouble sometimes on this new ship because you have to unlearn what you have
learned.
Think
you know something, but you don't.
Because I'm arguing with my boy, like, dude, we are going to the food place for a bourbon tasting. This is not right. And it was. So, but it was fun. But yeah, bottom line is smuggle on some tortilla chips on your cruise. And
that's our hack.
That is our hack. But we came to the conclusion they don't have tortilla chips because it would be a mess all over the ship. If they had tortilla chips, it'd be
That's what I think. I mean, I know like other food falls, like French fries and that, but like crunched up tortilla chips all over deck 11 sounds like a nightmare. Or taking it back to your room and then I know they're always like sweeping the carpet and all that, but like there would just be tortilla chips everywhere. I feel like.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Hook's Barbary, but yeah.
So many things to talk about. I know.
So many.
All right, well, we got to wrap, but thanks for hanging with us today and hope you have a great weekend. And again, 2025 will be here before you know it. And who knows where we'll sail next for 7. But thanks for everybody who sailed with the Suns Cruise. It was a ton of fun. And we appreciate you taking the, just trusting us and sailing with us. And we had a good time and we'll do it again in 2025. All right. We're going to jump out of here. Hope you have a great weekend. Give Scott a follow on the social media, Instagram, Twitter, and now Threads at epscott. Same for Pam, TMFLT Pam. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. We'd love to talk to you over the weekend. We're sharing pictures and memories from the podcast cruise. And real quick, before we get out of here, big announcement because BOGP Cares is happening down at Give Kids the World the weekend of September 8th and 9th. We're volunteering on the 8th, and we're doing a 6-hour live show at the Village on the 9th, and we'd love to have you there for both days if you're going to be in Central Florida. Pam, give some information on that, how folks can sign up today to join us.
Yeah, so if you head on over to the Magic for Less Travel Facebook page or message us on Facebook, we'll be happy to help you there. You can see we have a post, and we'll try to post it every couple of days, but there is a form that we need to have filled out, and it gives you further instructions on what where we're going to be volunteering, what we're going to be doing, the times, things like that. we're going to be volunteering from 7:30 to 10:30 that morning of the 8th. I hope you can come with us, because this is the thing. We've done the auction before, we've done the podcast before, but we're really excited to get to do this together. If you don't know, Give Kids the World actually is one of the top rated charities, because they do utilize so many volunteers to keep that village running. And that's what allows them to do it. It saves them a ton of money. So go over there and fill out the form. Just it's a really quick form, and then it will actually link to the Give Kids the World volunteer form that you'll need to fill out too. So the first form is for us, so that we can keep track of who's volunteering with us, because we're volunteering as a group. Then the second form is for Give Kids the World, and it will have you fill out some questions. And then once you fill out the questionnaire on the Give Kids the World site, they'll actually confirm with you and send you another link that actually has you watch a video. And the video is so impactful and so moving. It tells the story of Henry Landworth and just what they do at the village. Bring a tissue because it's that good, but it talks about what a really positive place Give Kids the World is. And I know that we've talked about this over the years. It may seem like a sad place, because we're dealing with families who are dealing with some kind of medical issue for one of their children's. But I will just say, like, letting kids be there and be kids and get to spend the week away from everything else that is going on in their lives is just it's just a privilege beyond privilege to be a part of that. So anyways, go check that out. We would love to have you volunteer with us. The only thing better than getting to do stuff like this is getting to do something like that with Give Kids the World. So stop on by, and we hope to see you there.
Absolutely. We're calling it BOGP Cares, because we are a community that really does care about each other and cares about others. So we're going to be down there again, September 8th and 9th. Sign up today. We'd love to have you there. And I'll tell you what, I was just like Pam said, I was scared to go to the village kind of at first, because again, I was just like worried that it would be sad. And I've been there a couple of times now, and it is just a place where, you know, it's basically angels walking on earth, you know, people doing good for the world and helping folks that need it. And wow, what a place it is. I mean, it changed my perspective on things when I went through there. So I can't wait to be there. And whether we're serving pancakes or whatever, ice cream for breakfast, I hope I get to scoop some ice cream over at Henry's Scoops.
They probably don't want me scooping the ice cream though, right, Mike?
Well, I mean, you and I would be like one scoop for you, one scoop for me. I mean,
or Crystal Palace style.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. No, they would not. They would let you scoop. They would not let you use a soft serve machine. That would not happen. You are banned. But yeah, please do sign up this weekend. You know, and we'd love to have you, because I think kids can start at like 10 years old, right, Pam? I think that's
10 years old, 10 and above. Yep.
Great for families. Okay, so don't forget, today's show always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We are standing by right now to help you plan magical vacations to the Disney destinations. Walt Disney World, Disneyland, looking good at 68 years old. Happy birthday, Disneyland, this week. Disney Cruise Line, of course. Now you got to get on the Wish, right? But hey, there's other ships too. I mean, Magic, Wonder, Fantasy, and Dream, not bad either. And you know, we get you Adventures by Disney if you want to see the world too. So check them out over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That supports everything we do throughout the year. It is beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons. You guys allow us to put these shows out all throughout the week. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You get that bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. All right, we're going to jump out of here, and we'll be back again on Monday with a fun trip report to talk about. I think it's going to be a trip report getting you ready for this fall. It's a trip report from a guest who went down last fall to the Halloween parties. They were there during a hurricane. Let's hope that doesn't happen this year. That's no fun for anybody, but when it does, it's historic. So we'll have a fun trip report for your Monday to get you out the door and off to work. So until then, you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Oh, boom. They're strict about not letting the volunteers eat ice cream.
There it is.
I like it.
Maybe I'll try to get down there. I got to look at my PTO. But maybe I can get down there.
No, you're not going down now because you can't get the ice cream.
It'll be a good time.
It wasn't about doing the right thing and volunteering at this.
It was about the ice cream.
This mission that I fully support. It was all about the ice cream.
You're like, I can't get ice. I can't scoop one for me. Scoop one for them. Oh, yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys. Have a good question show. I'll see you next week.
See you, Pam.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good week.
All right. Dude, she's out of here. Dude. She's like,
she must be on a mission.
I was like, whoa, out of here. Okay, so I'm gonna try to put these up on the big screen here real quick. Dude, I am so hungry. I don't know why I'm so hungry today, but I am. So let me do this. Don't want to connect to the iPad. Want to do the Apple TV. Because I don't want to watch the Cardinals because they're going to lose to the Marlins. Wait, what did I just do? We'll see if this works. We'll try it one time. Oh, there it is. All right. So we'll go. Listener questions.
Dang, Liz is still at the ready care.
Dude, that is huge. Better work. Tours and virtual queues. All right, we'll try this. All right, we will try not to make this one super long. Banners. So she's at the doctor?
Yeah. It's just still can't like really shake it off. So I've been telling her for like a few days to go, but so she finally did today.
Can they give her hopefully can give her some medicine?
Hopefully. My goodness, it's been bad.
Let's see. So change that. So close this. I hate going to the doctor. They take forever.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't go unless I can go to the hospital. When I go, it's too late. Okay, let me get it. Oh my God, I almost dropped it. I didn't even look at my pictures that whole time, and I got it already. Trying to use Jared's little kush.
Oh yeah, the fish one? Yeah.
Koozie. He's whatever it's called. Okay,
So many good memories on that cruise. Like,
I know.
I know. I wanted to talk about like every family, but like, you can't. It's too tough.
Well, too, in the Hooks Barbery thing, that'd have been fun to talk about how like it's a barbershop and we all sat there and watched the guy make an old fashioned.
Dude, I got an awesome coin now from that too, because that drink that Jared and I came with a commemorative coin.
Yeah, he's like, this one's a coin.
Like when like the barber guy, whatever he is, like walked us over. I'm like, what is he gonna show us here?
Yeah, he's like, because Jared knows all about that. He's like, what's the lowest one that has a coin?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Japanese whiskey.
Okay, hang on. Where's the comment?
So we're doing a listener question show?
We are. Here we go. 2320. So it's out of order. This is Wednesday. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 2321 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rahman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope this week is flying right by for you and that you're having a great one. Thanks for joining us and taking a chance here to listen to the show because, you know, we hope it's a great show, but you never know. But it's going to be a good one because it's listener questions. It's driven by you, the listener, and we're going to tackle some great questions today about Walt Disney World. So joining me today to answer your listener questions, it's your friend and mine. Hashtag Scotty G. Scott, what's going on here on this fine Wednesday?
Happy Wednesday, Mike. And I'm not trying to bring people down, but this is that weird time of year where like you think summer is like still just kind of starting, but like if you look at the calendar, it's like in 6 weeks, it's going to be September. Like, what's up with that? Like, I want summer to go on forever. And it feels like it does every year, right, Mike? It's just going by way too fast.
Well, so, you know, I used to be a teacher and my wife still is, and she's already freaking out because the back to school commercials are on TV. And I used to, this time of year, you know, you start seeing them. I've seen them like for Amazon. I've seen them for Kohl's. And you start seeing back to school commercials. And as a teacher, there's nothing worse. It's a real thing. But here, you know, like now that I'm not in education, it doesn't bother me as much because college football and high school football right around the corner. Like bring on the fall. But man, when I was a teacher, and I know we have a ton of teachers in our audience. So right now, Scott, you just amped up the anxiety like 20 times.
That wasn't what I intended. I was just,
You did.
as a normal guy that works a 9 to 5 in an office building, like I'm feeling it too. I mean,
Okay, I'm just saying because I don't feel it as much as I used to. But yeah, you just right now, you just like that little blood pressure cuff they put on you at the doctor. You just did that to like 72% of our audience because we have an inordinate amount of teachers that listen.
So I'm gonna get some like hate DM message, some DMs. Is what you're saying. Well, I apologize, everyone. I don't want Mike to edit that out because that's how I was feeling. But like, summer just needs to be longer, right? Like, it just really needs to be longer. But I love my teacher friends. Like, you guys do great, amazing work for our youth. So keep up what you're doing, and please don't be mad at me.
No, but I mean, the fall is the greatest time of year. It's an exciting, even for teachers. I got to say this, okay? Because when I worked in education, you never wanted the summer to end because I mean, there's something to be said about being paid to not work. I mean, not again, I'm digging myself in a hole here because teachers deserve that break. You work hard enough all year to get that little vacation. I'm not saying you don't deserve. You do. You 100% deserve. But there's always an excitement. And this is one thing that educators get that nobody else does. You get a fresh start. Because I've learned that when I left education in 2017 to become a travel agent full-time and do the show, is that like it's Groundhog Day. Like it's a grind for me. And I've never had a fresh start. Like I've gone and gone, gone. You do the same, I'm sure, 9 to 5 in your position. But teachers get, you get a whole new like lease on life every August or September. So good luck. We're almost there. It's like, I mean, as a college football fan, like we could
way to spin it, Mike. That's awesome. So we got some listener questions today, huh?
Yeah, we should probably jump in there before I'm trying to dig us both out of that hole for all of our teacher friends. All right, so let's get to the first question of the day, and it is going to come from. It looks like there's no name. It's just H. They signed H. I like it. Just an initial H period. Hello, BOGP crew. It says listener question about tours and virtual queues. My family and I will be down at Walt Disney World in just a couple of weeks and are super excited to be able to do a Keys to the Kingdom tour while we are there. One question: if we get a virtual queue for Tron at 7 a.m. and our boarding group would happen to be called during our tour, would we be able to ride when the tour is over, or would we be out of luck? Thanks so much for all of the information the crew brings to the table each and every week. Thanks, H. Yeah, if you're going to be a letter, that's a good letter in this household because that's how H. We played the H. So H, we appreciate you. So Scotty, I think we have good news.
Do we have good news? I
think because it's. Oh wait, this is Tron though. I was thinking Guardian.
Tron is tricky, but I think. Yeah. So here's my thought. Like, so you're doing this tour, right? Where it's a premium price that you have to pay for. I can't guarantee this, but I would talk to a cast member to explain the situation. Now, I don't want everyone going there trying to explain their situation for whatever it might be, because I know they are strict at Tron because people want to ride it at night, right? So they try to go later in the day. But I can't promise that it would work, but I would just go to the cast and explain the situation. Like, hey, we got this virtual queue. Maybe even explain it to your tour guide. Maybe they can help you out as well, or guest relations. But I can't promise that it's going to work, but I think as long as you like explain your situation to a cast member, they might have some leniency there.
And Keys to the Kingdom. Yeah. Keys to the Kingdom is about a 4-hour tour. Cause I've done it twice. That could happen because they are strict on the return window. That's why I was thinking Guardians are not as strict on the return window, but Tron, they are. And I think Scott and I we talked about this on our vacation. I think they're strict on it because if they weren't, people would tend to try to go back at night, because it's probably a better experience at night with the light package. I think if you're proactive, right, and talk to your cast member, right,
yep, even bring it up at the person doing the tour, like they might not be able to pull any strings, but just keep bringing it up. And who knows, right? Like if it's a 4-hour tour, Mike, maybe your virtual queue will be later in the day, and it actually works out. Like maybe it's at 2:00 or something, and you'll still be able to return to that time. So. Worst case scenario, I just talk to a cast member at guest relations or at the queue, and they might be able to get you on.
They could probably, because the thing is, the tour guides are high up guest relations people for the most part. They could probably move the time to the end of the tour if they had to. Like, yeah, I bet you they could. Yeah, be proactive. Like let them know that the situation right away.
Yeah. Just kill them with some kindness too. Like, just like Mike said. I mean, it's a true scenario. Like you were on this tour, you got the virtual queue, you did everything you could that was right, and just explain the situation, and I'd say they'll be pretty helpful with you.
All right, next question is coming from Brian, and he says, "Hey Mike, I missed the live call-in show because we're traveling back from Iowa for my son's baseball tournament. Hopefully, you can answer this question." We're headed down to Walt Disney World on July 27th for an 8-night stay at Caribbean Beach. One of our days is going to be a 4 parks in 1 day challenge. That's a big deal, especially in July. We're planning on getting Genie Plus, but not sure where to start. The one thing we do know is that we want to end the day in the Magic Kingdom. I'm going back and forth with Animal Kingdom and the studios. I'm leaning towards starting in the studios because I feel like there are more attractions there that can keep us busy until 12:30 to 1 o'clock ish. If we start in Animal Kingdom, our goal would be Flight of Passage and Everest, and that's it. We'd have a lot of downtime until we're able to hop. So help a brother out. If this were you and your crew, where would you start your day? Thanks for all you do, and keep the fantasy sports draft theme shows coming. I've been really enjoying those, Brian. I appreciate people are enjoying those draft shows and that kind of stuff. I know it's not for everybody because Scott and I are kind of sports guys, but we try to give it a Disney spin. So even if you're not a sports fan, you can kind of appreciate just what we're doing with those shows. We're trying to keep things fresh after almost 2,400 shows. So help a brother out. Should he start? First of all, props on doing 4 parks in 1 day, especially in July. Bonus points for that. Let me give you right there off the top. Animal Kingdom or the studios? I'd start at the studios. What'd you do?
It's a tough call. So like with the park hopping restrictions, that makes more sense because I would say let's start at the park that opens first, right? So that you can get in and get out and move on to the next one. So, but since the park that you're going to first, you have to stay for a certain amount of time. The studios make sense. But then my other thought though, Mike, is if he's doing Genie Plus, if Brian's doing Genie Plus, if you're at the studio, some of those Genie Plus times are going to be later in the day, where at Animal Kingdom, you might be able to do the safari immediately on Genie Plus and boom, then you can book another one, do Everest, boom, book another one, where I don't think you'll be able to do that so much maybe at Hollywood Studios, unless he plans on stacking them for Magic Kingdom later that night, which could be part of the strategy.
Obviously, he's going to do Genie Plus for the all the parks, and not just because now you can do Genie Plus for just one park if you want. But I'm assuming he's going to do the Genie Plus for all 4 parks. He says he only wants to do Flight of Passage and Everest at Animal Kingdom, so everything else is out.
That's true. And for Flight of Passage, you have to pay for
individual lightning lane. Yeah, so that's not even on Genie Plus.
So I like the Hollywood Studios because there is more ride stuff, and if those are the only 2 things he really wants to do at Animal Kingdom, maybe start at the studios and then maybe be willing to pay for the Flight of Passage too, because that could help save you some time. If that's part of your goal, accomplishing the 4 parks in 1 day, you got to do those 2 headliners. Then maybe, this is starting to turn into an expensive day, but that might be the route to be able to do those 2 rides at Animal Kingdom and then start at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, I would start at the studios and because Genie, you're right. Because we talked about this on Monday, is that we did Genie Plus at the studios, and we didn't get to the studios until around lunchtime, the day we got off the ship on July 7th, and we got everything done but Slinky Dog and Rock and Roller Coaster. And we could have done Rock and Roller Coaster single rider, but it kept breaking down. And we probably could have got Slinky Dog in too, but it kept raining. It rained 3 times hard that day, so it kept going down because of the rain. But yet the thing is, with Flight of Passage, you could buy that individual lightning lane, and so you could knock that out even not at rope drop.
And then Everest, it eats people pretty quick. It's pretty efficient.
I was gonna say Everest is a people eater, and sometimes even at noon, you can get on that thing at a 35-40 minute
That's
wait.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
Even if you want to do single rider, you can get on it really quick. But if you want to ride together, probably 45 minutes, even at noon. So
if that's all you're thinking about doing, then you can just spend an hour and a half there. I might even get my lunch there, go to Satuli Canteen or something like that.
That makes sense. I think you'll have good success. Then you got Epcot after that, and then wrap it up with Magic Kingdom and some fireworks.
I wonder what the goal is at Epcot, because Guardians would be kind of out of the picture because you wouldn't be able to get a boarding group at that point because your park reservation wouldn't be there. You could do an individual lightning lane there. I'm not trying to make Brian's day more expensive than it is. You could try that, but like I'm sure like Spaceship Earth is on the picture on the table or test track. So I'm curious I want to hear from Brian when he returns. I'm very curious how this day is going to play out and like what the goals are for the 4 parks in one day.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd love to hear how that goes. Write in and let us know because it's happening here in the next week or so. Yeah. So next couple weeks.
Have a great time at Caribbean Beach. That's one of my favorites.
Yes, it is. All right. Lane had a question here live on YouTube. And he says, hello, was Magic Kingdom Park reservation required for a day you have a Magic Kingdom dessert party reservation? We do have a park hopper. Thank you. Yes, you actually do have to have a park reservation to get in for dining. And that'd be just like a dining reservation. You have to.
But the park hopper will help them though too, because they can just hop over after.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you would.
Because I haven't heard of anyone not being able to park. I remember like when that first started again, there was like a phone number you could call to see if the park was available. I really have never heard of you not being able to park hop, so that should work as well.
I think that happened one day for like an hour. I'm trying to remember.
It might have been like the first day because it was like New Year's or something.
Yeah,
it was like New Year's Day.
Like one time for like an hour that you couldn't hop for something. Okay, we have a see here. It says Run Disney podcast request, and it's from Rebecca. Hey there, I've been listening to your podcast for a while now. When I travel for work on the road, it makes the drive a little easier. I've done something crazy and signed up for the Princess Half Marathon. I also bamboozled 2 friends into joining me. We want to stay somewhere comfy, aka deluxe. I have so many Run Disney questions, and you seem to have so much info with these events. Could you rate the resorts based off how nice or not nice your experience has been on race weekends? I feel like this could make up an entire podcast because signups just happened, and I can't really find a ton of podcasts on iTunes with this information. We're newbies, but we don't want to be the ones learning lessons on this trip. Thanks so much for any help you can give. With gratitude, Rebecca. All right, so we've done, obviously, between us, many, many race weekends, and we've stayed everywhere. We've stayed at the All-Stars. We've stayed at Pop. We've stayed at the Moderates. We've stayed at the Deluxes. So they're looking to do it right. They're looking to stay at the Deluxes for Princess. Where would you point some first-timers? She bamboozled some friends. I like how she said
I love the bamboozle, yeah.
How you do it. Give them some advice.
My answer is going to be really weird here, and I've done this for a princess. I've actually done this for 2 princesses, where I've stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Might not be at the top of your radar, right, for deluxe or for like Run Disney because it's kind of off the beaten path. But like I found, knock on wood, that the bus service is like really outstanding there. If you're someone that likes to go to bed early for these races, it's like a quiet area. It's away from like the fireworks at Epcot and Magic Kingdom. And it's just like so chill and like laid back at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I really like that resort for race weekends. I think it's perfect.
That's a good call. If you really want to chill and deluxe accommodations. And I mean,
and at a pretty good price too, really, when you think about it too. Animal Kingdom can be pretty affordable in the deluxe category.
That is not, if you're going the opposite direction, you want to be in the middle of it all and you want to go deluxe. We've stayed at the Boardwalk and that was fun because you feel it. And with Princess, everything is going out of Epcot right there. You are kind of in the middle of it all. You can walk right to the studios in Epcot and, go to the parks very easily. Got the dining right there and the entertainment on the Boardwalk itself. We really enjoyed that for a marathon weekend. And, Princess and Marathon Weekend are kind of, similar. Princess kind of like a Marathon Weekend light. And we like that. And those are, it's a nice resort. So I think it's kind of what you're looking for, but you're going to hear the Magic Kingdom fireworks. You're going to obviously hear Epcot Forever. So, and you're going to have a lot of hustle and bustle there. So I think it's 2 different things, but I think it's, what are you looking for? And obviously transportation's, I get this question a lot from my guests. Like I'm doing a Run Disney event. Which resort's going to have the best transportation to the race? And that used to be an issue because Scott, you probably remember this. Remember when there were host Run Disney
host resorts. Yep.
Dude, I stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge one time and it wasn't a host event. It wasn't a host hotel. I had to take a taxi. I didn't realize that. It's my only time I've been in a taxi. But now they're all, you don't have to worry about that. But I do
have my favorites though for transportation, especially for coming back. Cause do
you have ones you would avoid?
Not really. I mean, I would just say it depends on how sore and tired you are after a race. So I will say, because these buses stretch for a long way. It's in that parking lot. So I will say the All-Star resorts tend to be like right at the end, you know. So
Mhm.
like you might have to walk further, but it's not like we're talking like a mile further, but it's going to be like a few bus lanes to go to the All Stars. But I mean, the transportation is efficient. Knock on wood, most of the time. You know, we've seen some hiccups. Our friend Phil, right, got dropped off at the studios for a marathon one day. That was unbelievable.
That's a nightmare. I cannot believe that stuff happens.
Yeah. And like my wife has been on a bus where she had to like give navigation to the driver because they got lost. I mean, it happens. I mean, it's a big place, right?
It should not happen.
It really should. You're paying that amount of money to run a race. Like, it really should not happen. But yeah, I find the transportation to be really good. There's some resorts I really like better for after the race because it is like the quickest drive there. Like the bus is basically like in the resort parking lot. Like, I think you know the one I'm talking about. But Animal Kingdom is good. Like Boardwalk, Beach Club, they're all really good. Yeah, and like that's actually like my favorite part of the race. Almost like I get like the last little 10 minutes of sleep. Like I'm guessing with this crew though, like Bamboozled, like doing the princess thing, really themed. They're probably going to be like the energy ones, right, Mike? Like there are that bunch that are like super cheery, super chatty in the morning where I'm just like, I just want to close my eyes 10 more minutes. So I enjoy those bus rides because it's more rest. But either way, like you're going to be fine with the transportation.
Absolutely. All right. Next question is coming from Madison, and it says, down in Atlanta. Hey, Mike and team, my two friends and I are taking a quick 36-hour trip down to Walt Disney World in August, flying out of Atlanta at 6 a.m., going straight to the Magic Kingdom and spending the night at All-Star Movies before our flight home the next day at 11 o'clock a.m. My husband and I recently got a dog and named him Remy after Remy from Ratatouille, of course.
Nice.
This is your jam because that's like your movie. Is there anywhere outside of the France Pavilion or Epcot that sells Remy merchandise? I'm willing to hop to another resort or Disney Springs. If not, it'll have to wait till the next trip. Listening since 2018. Thanks for all you guys do, Madison. Man, you came to the right place with Scotty G because Ratatouille is his thing.
I do like Ratatouille, and off the top, I'm thinking it's only really in the France Pavilion at Epcot. I'm trying to like World of Disney might have something, you know, like that's Ratatouille. I will say, like, if you really want a nice piece of artwork, you can go to the Riviera. Because their 1-bedroom villa has this beautiful piece of Remy, like with like a bowl of fruit in their villas. And the cool thing at the Riviera Resort, they have an art kiosk in their gift shop because there's beautiful art throughout the whole resort, and you can order it and you can have it framed and you can have it shipped to your home. I did that, and I thought the price was relatively like pretty nice. So in my kitchen / dining room, we have that same painting that's in the 1-bedroom villa of Remy, and it just makes me think of how much we love that movie and our times at the Riviera Resort. So I think that could actually be a really cool souvenir.
And here's the good thing. We have a vast audience with tons of experience. So if you know where we can get something for Remy the dog, and I'd love to know, send us, and also let us know, give us a picture of the dog. I love to see the pictures of people's.
Oh yeah.
So at Be Our Guest Mike, Twitter or Threads or Instagram, wherever, tag me. And then if anybody out there knows where we can get something for Remy the dog, let me know.
Is it actually for the dog, or that's why
I deleted the email. Was it not something for like a collar or something? I don't know.
Maybe it was. Maybe I misunderstood. I thought it was just something that was Remy in general.
Maybe it's just something Remy in general. I mean, was it one of those like shoulder sitting like little rats?
Yeah. So those are usually in Epcot though.
Yeah, those are. But anyway, we'll play it back. So yeah, just let me know. So tag me on Instagram or social media. We'll get an answer.
But it sounds like a fun trip though. I love the 36-hour, like 6 a.m. flight out of Atlanta, going straight to the Magic Kingdom, coming back the next morning. Like that's my style. I love it. I hope you have a great time.
It does, but I'm getting too old for that stuff. I just, man, I didn't tell Pam for the podcast cruise until like 5 days before what time our flight was out, because I got the 5:30 flight in the morning. Yeah. She's like, dude, those flights are fine for you when you go to races. When I'm involved, never book that flight. I'm like, but the first flight out doesn't get delayed because of weather. Mm-hmm. And she's like, don't give me that. You booked it because it was the cheapest flight. I'm like, yeah, but they don't get delayed because of weather. She's like, knock it off.
I love those flights.
Earliest, dude. She was arguing with me, but yeah, we got delayed forever coming home. So there you go. I'm telling you. Anyway, Cindy's got a question. She's from Ontario, Canada, listening up there. We appreciate that. Hey, Mike, Ricky, Pam, and Scott. We are planning our first trip to Walt Disney World for September 2024. I'm a bit of an over planner and looking to start my daily itinerary. I love this. I got to book my flight for next month in September 2024. I love our audience. You guys are awesome. Cindy, you rock. She says we're going to use the dining plan, and I think I finalized my ADRs, but I'm stuck and a bit overwhelmed with which quick service to use in each park. I highly appreciate everyone's expertise in this manner. I'm very thankful I came across your podcast about 5 months ago. You all are super amazing. Thanks, Cindy.
That's nice.
Isn't that awesome when people say that? Thank you. That's
awesome.
We're glad to have you as a listener.
I would love you there in Ontario too. We love our Canadians.
Absolutely. The Canadians are the best. Okay, so I got to go ABC commissary over at the studios because of my buffalo chicken grilled cheese. Oh, so good. That's my quick service go-to for the last 2 years over at the studios. Do you concur for the studios? We could start there.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you know me, I love that same sandwich. A place that gets a bad rep, and I don't understand it fully, is the Pizza Rizzo. I like that place because it's nice air conditioning. You can go upstairs and have a nice quiet spot to just relax for a little bit. And okay, I'm a pizza snob, really. I love pizza, and I'm very critical on pizza. It's not the best pizza, but it's not that bad. And the meatball sub and the Caesar salad are pretty good there too. So, I'm not sure. I hope you're not a vegetarian because here I'm talking about meatball subs and whatnot. And we're talking about buffalo chicken sandwiches.
Apologies if you have dietary restrictions. Yeah. We're terrible at that.
But I think don't overlook Pizza Rizzo just because of that atmosphere and the quietness and I think it has some of the best air conditioning in all of the studios too. So that's a good spot too.
Yep. And when you go in July, you start to appreciate those things.
Absolutely. She's going to be in September, which I think is still going to be pretty warm though.
Exactly. And being Canadian, you'll probably appreciate it. Yes. Okay. So let's go Animal King. Obviously, Satula Canteen, probably the best quick service on property. We agree there.
I love that place. I'm going to throw Yak and Yeti out there as well. I've said this for such a long time with Flame Tree, Yak and Yeti. I used to kind of like Pizza Fari. That's kind of dropped a little bit for me over the years. But Yak and Yeti is a really solid choice too. So do not overlook that if you like Chinese food.
Yeah, I agree. And it's so on the dining plan, because she's going to be on the dining plan, you used to be able to get, I want to say now that again, because it hasn't come back. We know some of the details, but right now it's still kind of I'm a little sketchy on my dining plan yet because I'm not back in the full swing of things. But I want to say you used to be able to get an order of chicken fried rice or something as a snack.
Yes.
And that was I felt like I was robbing them because it was big. I mean, it was almost a meal for a snack credit. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was one.
If you're a beer drinker or not, I think at the counter service you can get a beer sometimes with the counter service, which is crazy on the dining plan. But yeah, I remember that being a snack too. We should do some research because
that probably will go away. I'm sure that will not be the case anymore. But I mean, it was one of those things back in the day, you used to get the whole thing of Entenmann's donuts as a snack.
If it is, I'm going to do the dining plan for my next trip. I feel if that's the case.
Totally. Okay. So there's your ideas for Animal Kingdom. Let's go Epcot. Epcot a little challenging because you got a lot of places to eat.
So many places. I know you and I seem to agree on the same one. So I'm going to go first this time because I'm going to pick is it the Cantina or La Hacienda, whatever the Mexican
Cantina del San Angel.
I just love that place. I don't know what it is. I love the chips and guac are really great. I love that guacamole. If you like an adult beverage, you can get a margarita there too.
They're good.
And the tacos are really good. They just offer some good combos. And if September, so you never know. It could be a nice breezy day, and that's a great place to sit outside. But even if it's blazing hot, you can go inside. Just don't tell anyone we told you that. But you can go inside to La Hacienda, and here I am with the theme of air conditioning. You get a nice blast of air conditioning on a hot day while you have your Mexican food. It's an awesome spot for sure.
Yes, you can go in there. Just it's the secret between all.
Just don't tell anyone.
It's just us.
When you go in, make sure no one's watching you too. Be all smooth about it.
I mean, the door is closed. You just have to kind of look around, and it's in Stir Crazy, that old movie from the 80s with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, busting out of the rodeo, the prison rodeo. You got to look around. That big guy, the bald guy, just got to sneak you under the plank of wood.
Yep. Right just there. Be smooth. Just be smooth when you do it.
Nobody knows you've seen that movie?
Oh yeah, I know that movie.
I
Yeah,
love that movie. That movie is. And I was watching that when I was a kid. Why did my parents let me watch that movie?
I love the Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor movies. They
same. They're the best.
like
Silver
scenery.
Street.
Yeah. Oh, Silver, dude, I love that movie.
Seriously, I know.
It's like the murder mystery on the train. Like it's so good.
Oh man, that's why we're friends. Okay, so where are we? Magic.
You need another Epcot one.
Yeah, I was gonna even go Epcot. Fish and chips over in England. That's a good choice. And also, don't forget about Japan. That little counter service up there. It's not necessarily for the food, but it's like you can get your food and sit outside with like the koi fish and it's peaceful.
Don't tell people that either.
I know.
That's where I take my shaved ice because I always have to get a shaved ice. And I go back there in the nice shade, nice breeze. Oh, that's my spot.
It's kind of hard to do a podcast and not tell people anything.
I know, right?
Like silence. It'd be like 35 minutes.
But hey, like maybe I'll run into some listeners there. I would love to chat with you over a shaved ice for sure, and some teriyaki chicken.
Kekigori. There you go. Okay, Magic Kingdom. Obviously, we're gonna throw in Columbia Harbor House. Awesome upstairs. I love that place.
Ooh, all right. I struggle. I kind of struggle with the Magic Kingdom counter service. You know what I say? Take a midday break and go to Gasparilla on the boat. That's actually going to be my answer. Like go to one of the resorts. Go to Captain Cook's. Go to Contempo Cafe or Gasparilla. Get on the boat. Enjoy the breeze of Seven Seas Lagoon, and just leave the Magic Kingdom for a little bit. And so I'm going to go with Gasparilla as mine. I know it's technically not the Magic Kingdom, but I'm going to call it the Magic Kingdom.
See, I don't mind. You can get the chicken and the spicy chicken waffle at Sleepy Hollow. That's a good choice. Corn dog nuggets at Casey's. There's a big old like chili dog at Cosmic Race. All these things.
Or you can do like a plain old hot dog like we saw that one guy a couple weeks ago.
Biggest hot dog ever walking around. And it wasn't even dressed. It was just like a dog in a bun. Just plain.
Or go to one of the monorail resorts.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, Captain Cook's. Yeah, that'd be a better choice. Okay, let's get to another question here. So yeah, enjoy your meals there and let us
Cindy, have an awesome time.
All right, Sam's got a question. Hello, BOGP crew. My sister-in-law and I are going down to Walt Disney World at the end of September. Our flight just got moved up 2.5 hours, and we're now looking for things to do to occupy our evening after we get in. We land about 4:30 p.m. on Thursday and are staying at Pop Century. Friday, we do not have park tickets either, as we'll be doing Not So Scary. What are some suggestions for us Thursday evening and maybe before Not So Scary on Friday? We typically go every year with my husband and kiddos, so we're taking advantage of the opportunity for it just to be us. I did hear about a candle making thing at the Grand Floridian, so we're going to check that out pre Not So Scary as well. Thanks for all you do. Love the show and look forward to listening 4 times a week. Enjoy the podcast cruise. Sam, I think we're going to have a good time on the cruise. Just came in a little bit before the cruise. So the candle making thing, I think she's talking about at Basin, because there was an opportunity there to make candles because Mallory, of course, discovered it. And I was like, no, you're not doing it because we have to leave. Mm-hmm. And we already are probably over our luggage limit. So stop. And it costs money. So, but I think that's at Basin where you can do that. And it looked pretty interesting.
My favorite store of Walt Disney World.
That's it. I did wash my hands and take a picture just for you. And I had awesome smelling hands there for about 6 hours. So give them some thoughts. They have all Thursday night and Friday day.
So for Thursday, I say go to a resort and like, even if you're not in the table service, like even go to like someone's counter service. So maybe take a bus to Disney Springs, maybe do a little shopping, take a bus to a different resort from there. Like, I don't know why, Mike, but I'm thinking like Old Key West and go have dinner at Olivia's. I don't know why. Like, that's what I want to do on that Thursday. You know, just go have a nice meal at another resort, like scope it out. But you got to promise me that you'll do some night swimming at Pop Century. I just love a good night swim at Pop Century. Friday's going to be kind of chill for the morning and early afternoon because you got Not So Scary. So maybe, you know, stay up late, like maybe bring a deck of cards, hang out poolside at Pop Century. That's what me and my family like to do. Get an ice cream or a tie-dye cheesecake from the cooler and just enjoy the nighttime vibe over at Pop Century. That's a lot of fun for me.
It is. Pop Century, it comes to life at night. It is. It's a good place to be. And with the Skyliner, you know what I'm saying? Like you're at Pop, so hop on Skyliner and just go over to Caribbean Beach.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
You know, make it where you just go over to Caribbean Beach and get a snack there.
Yeah, that's a great call, man. Let's throw out the Olivia's thing. Like, you can just go straight to another resort on the Skyliner if you're okay with doing that. I know the Skyliner is not for everyone if you got a heights issue, but if that works for you, that's a great call, Mike. And then come back for the night swimming for sure.
Yeah, you go to the boardwalk, like and get an ice cream at the boardwalk or get a piece of pizza on the boardwalk, pizza place or whatever. So yeah, that's the thing. Like if I don't have park tickets, but I'm at Pop or Caribbean Beach or something, I just bounce around on the Skyliner. That's a ride, and just take advantage of it. But Key West and Olivia's, good stuff. All right, we have another question here. It is from John Rose, and actually he's one of my buddies down in Branson who paints these awesome murals. Who I just saw, he just finished painting this awesome flag on the side of a shed this past weekend. The stuff he does is incredible. He's a teacher, but he does this on the side. Unreal stuff.
So he's probably mad at me at the start of this episode.
Exactly. You just gave this guy right here. John is a perfect example. He was painting and he probably went because you gave him anxiety.
It's like, darn Scott.
I know. And then we talked about Uncle Orville. He's a teacher in West Virginia. You gave him anxiety. Everybody's getting anxiety today. Okay. He says, hey, Mike, Pam, Ricky, and Scott, my Disney friends. My wife and I have stayed in Pop 3 times now, 2 times before having kids and once with our 2 kids. Now we have a family of 5 and are planning for when our youngest is 3 and have outgrown Pop, which really breaks my heart. Trust me, when the kids get older, the heart starts breaking. I mean, Scott and I've talked about that. Our girls are getting too old too fast too. We have been considering Port Orleans Riverside or Caribbean Beach because they each have a 5th sleeper option and are the most affordable. I never hear anything about Caribbean Beach, so I really don't know much about it, but the pool looks pretty rad, and I love that it's a Skyliner resort. We also have briefly considered a suite at All-Star Music, but not sure about that. A suite at All-Star Art of Animation also looked nice, but we would save money by just booking a room at the Contemporary, maybe throw a split stay in there. Anyway, Riverside and Caribbean Beach are front runners. Any suggestions? Which do you prefer? Any positives or negatives? Am I forgetting anything? Thanks, y'all. Love listening to your thoughts. Makes mural painting fly by.
Mike, we've actually answered this question for John. We actually answered it on a previous episode.
Well, real quick, summarize.
To summarize it, we really like this question. It's a great question too, because with the moderates, because he's a Pop guy, because he likes the Skyliner there too. So I'm going with Caribbean Beach. Great pools, great quiet pools too, and just the convenience of the Skyliner. You already like the Skyliner because you've stayed at Pop before. You can get the 5th sleeper there. You have to book it as a 5th sleeper though. That's the key. You just can't assume I booked at Caribbean Beach, so I'm getting a 5th sleeper. It's its own room category. So make sure you work with your travel agent and make sure you book that type of room. But easily the Caribbean Beach for me.
I'm same because you're gonna get. The Skyliner is just such a selling point, and the pool there is just awesome. The pirate theme pool.
And I like those pirate pools too, like in Jamaica and all those.
I know you're a huge fan of that, but I love the pirate pool, the feature.
I love the pirate pool too. You gotta spend a couple of days there too, and then the other time you're at the quiet pool for sure.
Yeah, Jamaica and Aruba, places to be. All right, Kara's got a question. I apologize there if we read that one before. Sorry, with being off here for 15 days, it's kind of thrown me off my game. Kara says, let's see here. For Princess Marathon weekend, it's just going to be my husband and I. We'd like to do a different resort and do more adult types of dinners and experiences that are just hard to do with 3 little boys. Which resort would you pick out of these? Okay, she gives us only 3 options.
Okay.
For a princess race weekend, but it's just her husband and herself. The 3 kids staying home. They don't get to come. She's picking from Coronado, Boardwalk, or Saratoga. What are you picking?
Coronado, Boardwalk, Saratoga. And this is for a princess weekend.
Princess weekend and a couple's escape at the same time.
Boardwalk. And that just screams couples to me. Because you got the nightlife, all the action that's happening on the boardwalk. It's it's a lot of fun. You can back into Epcot, where you got all the restaurants. So it's 100% Boardwalk for me.
Yeah, Chris, who's tuned in live here on Facebook, says Boardwalk as well. I would go Boardwalk or Saratoga because Saratoga, you could also walk over to Disney Springs and get some nightlife over there and some adult dining. Yeah, I'd go Boardwalk because the access, because you're close to the race festivities and you got the nightlife on the boardwalk.
And are they all doing the races too? Because if one of you are not doing the races, like usually, and like don't get me wrong, we haven't seen the course maps yet for Princess, but the 10K sometimes goes by the boardwalk, so the other one could be out cheering the other one too, which would be kind of cool.
And that is a great place to cheers on the. Yeah, that would sell it. Yeah, you're right. That'd win it. And she says, what restaurant would you do just you and your spouse? Okay, so couples.
Do we have options?
No, they didn't give. This is not multiple choice. This is a fill in the blank. Apparently, they're getting all kinds of questions here. But so you're fancier. This would be a fancier restaurant. Where would you go if it was just you and your spouse?
You know what? I don't think I give this restaurant enough love. Everyone knows what some of my favorites are, but I would love to take Elizabeth here, just the two of us. I would like to go to Jico at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's dark, it's romantic. The menu is fantastic. Great if you're a wine drinker. There's great wine selection. So I really like branching out from the boardwalk. Take an Uber or however you could get there. You can do a bus from like a park or Disney Springs, but get over to Animal Kingdom Lodge and go to Jico.
That is a good restaurant.
You've been there, Mike. It's a signature.
I have. It only went because Pam treated us, the agency. We had a kind of a special dinner there, and it was really, really good. It was really fancy and nice. I thought for sure you were going to say California Grill, because that's your.
I know. I have so many great ones, but I think we just don't talk about Jico enough, and I think Jico would be really great.
That is true. And Chris again in the live chat.
Me and Chris, man, we need to be hanging out. We're agreeing on everything.
He offered up Jico, Yachtsman Steakhouse, or California Grill as his three options here for our listener. I would also throw in, is Flying Fish back open? Because if you stayed at the boardwalk.
Oh my God, that's a great option, because if they're going to go with our recommendation of the boardwalk.
Yeah, I mean, right there, right? And it's fancy. Pam Forrester, that is. Again, I've never eaten a Flying Fish, but Pam Forrester, that is her favorite on-property restaurant, or at least one of. It used to be. I don't know if it still is.
I love Flying Fish. Emily did not have the best experience one time, so never wants to go there again. So actually, this could be a good couples one for me, because I wouldn't have Emily. But Flying Fish. Flying. Try to say that really fast, Mike. Flying Fish for sure is a great. I like the way you're thinking, Mike. That's a great pick.
I'm trying, even though I've never been there. So I got to go there sometime. Because my wife hears the word fish and she's like, out.
Okay, maybe we need to get you there. I've gotten you to Narcoossee's. You've done Jico. Maybe I got to bring you over to Flying Fish over Marathon Weekend.
You know what? What's in common between those two times? My wife was not there either of those two times.
Yep. So all right, Flying Fish it is next time.
Yeah, it's just what fish flying.
And you've done Topolino's too. I'm getting you
again third time
podcast research, right?
Right. Third time. Wife was not there either for that trip. Okay, last question of the day. It's from Annabelle, and she's in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hey, Mike, Ricky, Pam, and Scotty G. I'm a huge fan of the podcast and have a quick question. I'll be headed down to the world for Martin Luther King weekend, January 12th through the 15th of 24, with my best friend for a girls' trip. We try to go once a year and stay on property. My question is, what moderate hotel would you recommend for this trip? We'll be hitting the parks every day and take a midday break at the pools if the weather is nice. We're looking for a fun new experience. Thanks for all you do, Annabelle. They need a moderate.
So I know we talked about a moderate on a previous question there from John, but girls trip, for some reason, Mike, I'm thinking Coronado, maybe Grand Casino Tower, even the outer rooms, great pools. You got 3 bridges. Lots of cool lounges if that's your thing. I think this would be a great spot for the two of them.
I 100% agree. I was going to go Coronado, and I would go Standard View Tower, because it is one of the. I talked to a guest at the Magic for Less about this actually today as we're recording. I think this is one of the best values, the best bang for your buck is a Standard View room in the tower, because it feels so deluxe, and it is not even that much more than a Pop Century room. And the dig site pool's awesome. You got a poolside bar. You can get some hot foods there that are pretty good. And it just feels so lush. You got the Barcelona bar. You got an upgraded food court experience. You got Maya Grill. You got Toledo. It's centrally located at all 4 parks. I mean, you're at the all 4 parks quickly.
When I have a car, that's one of my favorite resorts to be at, because you can get to any park really quick, I feel from there. So
absolutely. So yes, I would double agree. Coronado it is for Martin Luther King weekend for the girls trip. All right.
Great time. I love going down there that weekend. That used to be we always went Martin Luther King weekend. So have a great time. Crowds will be a little busy, but I think you're going to have a blast.
Midday break those key because you got to get out of those crowds.
Yes.
You can't be in it all day. Hey, we got through quite a few questions today. I like it. Kind of
crushed it.
We did. All right, I like it. So if you have questions, Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. We knocked out a ton of them, so the queue is open. So be ready for next week. Get it in, Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. Don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. I am ready to help you plan an amazing Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip this week. All you need to do is swing by the magicforless.com. While you're there, check out all the great trip planning tools to get everything rolling for you. And then fill out that free, no obligation quote form. Just put as much information as you have, names, dates, resorts, and then we'll get you some pricing and some availability, all that stuff rolling for you. The best part is cost you absolutely nothing extra. We're going to get you the best deal going. You're going to get little goodies for booking with the Magic for Less, and it supports the show. So it's kind of a win-win-win. We'd really appreciate it. Just mention the podcast. The quote comes to me, and we'll be working together. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. We really appreciate it. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. That really does help everything we do. And thanks to our patrons. You guys make this all possible, starting at just $5 a month. And you get that bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. If you could support us over there, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who does. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. All right, give Scott a follow on the social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Threads at EPSCOT, EPSCOT. Same for me. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. We'd love to talk to you this week. And of course, we'll have shows. Thursday's the replay from Sunday night. Friday, we have a great recap of the Be Our Guest Podcast Cruise. A lot of fun there. And then join us on Sunday night as we take your calls live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And it'll be at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Be a part of the show. Give us a call. We'll have a good time for the BOGP open line this Sunday night. Don't forget, also, come over to the Facebook page. We are doing the BOGP Cares for Give Kids the World. You can now sign up to join us on September 8th and 9th. Friday, September 8th, we're volunteering from 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at the Village. We'd love to have lots of our listeners join us we're serving breakfast for the families down at Give Kids the World as a podcast community. It's going to be great. It's an awesome place. All the details are on the Facebook page. So go to the Facebook page, just search for Be Our Guest Podcast. There is a sign-up sheet. It explains everything there. And then on Saturday, September 9th, we're doing the 6-hour live show. We're going to give away a trip to Walt Disney World. We're going to take donations for the Village. We're going to have lots of giveaways. It's going to be fun. So put it on your calendar. It's going to be a great weekend in September, but go to the Facebook page, Be Our Guest Podcast, and get all the details there. But sign up. We want to serve breakfast with you. We're going to be flipping pancakes or serving ice cream, something like that. It'll be fun. All right, we're going to jump out of here. We'll be back again on Thursday and Friday with some more shows. So until then, for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All righty.
Boom. Got it.
Woo. Tired of talking. All right.
Yeah, 2 hours. We did pretty good there.
We did. And I hope Liz is all righty.
Yeah. She just texted me that she's home, so I should go check in on her.
All right. We'll tell her we hope she feels better.
We'll do.
She's still not feeling good.
We'll do. So I want to talk to you possibly about what your plans are for that September thing. So I'll send you a text because I'm not sure if Liz is going to come or not. So maybe we can room together or something.
Oh, that'd be good.
But she might want to go. So I don't know. I got to figure that out. So
dude, just let me know. I'm up for anything.
All right. Sounds good.
I haven't booked anything. So whatever.
All right. Cool.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
Have a good night, everyone.
See you. All right.